Today, a key cabinet meeting is taking place after Donald Trump promised to hit Canada with a 35% blanket import tariff on August 1st. In the wake of this threat, the president of Alberta's largest worker advocacy group is calling on Premier Smith to abandon her strategy of appeasing Trump and join the rest of Canada in standing up to him. Joining us now is the leader of that call, Gil McGowan. Good morning, Gil. Thanks for being here with us.
Good morning, Hannah.
What are some of your concerns around Smith's approach to dealing with Trump?
Well, the biggest concern that we have, and I think it's a concern shared by the majority of Canadians, is that appeasement doesn't work. I think the world has decided, and they understand that Trump is a bully. They understand that appeasement doesn't work, but that's exactly what we're getting from our premier. So in the wake of President Trump's announcement about unilaterally imposing a 35% tariff on Canadian exports, on behalf of the 175,000 working Albertans who I represent, I sent a letter to Premier Smith last Friday demanding that she get off the sidelines and that she abandon her policy of appeasement and actually start doing things that will strengthen our bargaining power at the table when we're dealing with Trump. In particular, I said that I demanded on behalf of our members that she return to the ban on the sale of Alberta liquor, American liquor in Alberta. That's the bare minimum from our perspective that any government should be doing in the face of what we would describe as extortion from the American president. She backed away from that policy quietly without explanation. The second thing that we demanded was that she made good on the promises that she made to Albertans back in March to introduce an aggressive Buy Canadian, Buy Alberta campaign to encourage people to buy Canadian instead of American goods. She's backed away from that promise. She also promised to stop using American suppliers and contractors for Alberta government contracts, and she's abandoned that as well. The final, and I think this is a really significant demand that we made, is that I demanded in my letter to the Premier that she reverse her refusal to even consider using our oil and gas as leverage in trade talks. Because Donald Trump talks about having the cards, and he suggests that we in Canada have no cards in our negotiation with the Americans. But the truth is, we have a lot of cards. In Ontario and Quebec, we export a lot of power. That's a big card that we could play. In Saskatchewan, they export potash. 100% of American potash needs met by Saskatchewan. That's a big card. And in Alberta, we have oil and gas. And to unilaterally say that we're not even going to consider playing our strongest cards, that is a recipe for losing the negotiation.
Yeah, let's talk about what is at risk here.
Well, an awful lot is at risk. We're a trade-dependent country, and we entered into negotiations with Donald Trump in good faith. But when he sent that letter on Thursday night, late Thursday night, he basically shut down any notion of negotiation. He said that this 35% tariff is going to be the deal. So that's not negotiation, that's bullying. And I think that it's clear that our efforts to negotiate, we backed down on his demands on fentanyl. We gave him what he wanted on military spending. We backed down on a digital services tax. We've basically done everything that he's asked for, but he keeps coming back for more. So this is the sign of a bully, and I think everyone understands that when you're negotiating with a bully, the only thing that they understand is strength. So it's time for us to start playing those strong cards that we have. And what's at stake is our economy, our jobs, and if we continue this strategy of appeasement, which seems to be supported by Danielle Smith, because in her response to Trump, she actually opposed the Canadian government using even retaliatory tariffs. So I don't know what game she's playing, but it's a losing one.
Okay, Gil, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Hannah.
Again, that's Gil McGowan, president of the Alberta Federation of Labor.